What's your plan this weekend?
Bro, I've got a wedding to do. I'm officiating a wedding.
Oh.
And actually, I was thinking about this because I've officiated a number of weddings. And
You officiated on mine.
yes, we'll talk about that another time. But like, I've been thinking about what we say at weddings to people. And, bachelor parties, all these things leading up to the wedding. And I've been reflecting on whether or not we actually tell them
what's coming.
Yeah, we tell them what's coming.
Bro.
Or people are, what I mean, like soberly told
Yes.
about marriage so that they have the correct understanding of what marriage is.
Look, I'll be honest, like, beyond the vows and the speeches, like, I feel like we're not told the full truth about what we're getting into. And the thing is, by the time you're at the altar, it's too late. I mean, like, it is what it is. But I think, like, like you'll never fully know what it is until you're in there.
Yes, but however, though, I think we can share more information, Well, let me say it, share more honestly about what marriage is, because I mean, you're saying that by the time you get to the altar that it's too late, which is true.
Yeah.
But we have a hand in ensuring that people have enough information.
By we, you mean?
Or just in general, like, just as gents, we can, chat to other gents, sit other gents down, say,
Sure.
Because, like you say, by the time you get to the altar, it's too late.
Yeah.
But we can say something so that people, that walk to the altar is people have really, really, really kind of thought through it and thought it out.
I get you.
And so probably my question then would be, if you could rewind to Kgabo, I mean, you've been married 7 years now.
Yeah.
Rewind to Bachelor Kgabo, who is talking marriage, who's saying, hey, look, I like this whole idea of marriage. What would you say to him?
I haven't had to think about this. I haven't had to. I know, like, a lot of people think about, like, what would I say to 16-year-old me or whatever. But, like, bachelor me.
Like, if you just wanted to prepare him, make sure with the right reason, with the right understanding, counting the cost type of thing. And obviously we can't explain the fullness of umshad or marriage. But what extra, I guess?
I think that bachelor me is still dating, right? And then, like, thinking and contemplating this. So I think I would have wanted to work on my friendship with my girlfriend at the time even longer than what I did, and more intentionally. Because I think in marriage, what happens is that, like, you spend so much time together that you realize when you're in there what you were doing when you were dating. It's kind of like your dating lays a sort of foundation for your relationship. And I think that when we're dating, I guess we're in varsity, we didn't have a lot of money, right? Our level of exploring and like friendship was in the borders of varsity and what we could afford there. Like, get on a taxi, go watch a movie, like share an ice cream here and there. That's one thing. I think the other thing for myself would be that I would say, just don't be hard on yourself. I think that, because I was very purposeful in going to guys like you and asking, like, what can you tell me? And at the time, funny enough, at the time you were like, don't do it.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I'm telling
you. You were like, don't do it. Like, what are you rushing into? Like, it's not what you think it is. And I think that...
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Well, I guess part of it is is I think for a lot of guys, I guess because we were on campus together,
Yes.
and I was, I guess, the campus pastor at that particular,
Yeah.
time. So a lot of guys, I think, because a lot of guys in our space and whatnot were wanting to, walk celibate so that they could have sex within the context of marriage. And so I think that was like the big thing. When you haven't
Yeah.
had or you've never had sex, and then you meet someone, then there's that thing of like, hot blood, all those things, which is but I think that thing was like high priority is sex. And Kgabo, and I understand it, as dudes, as
Okay,
gents,
sure.
like, we want that. And so I guess in a lot of my, in chatting to guys, saying, guys, if all it is for you is
For the pomp.
bro,
You'll see your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, that was a big part for me as a reason, but it wasn't the only reason. It wasn't the main
Yes.
reason. Like, I think that I wanted to be as sober as possible when making that decision. So I think, like, yeah, I would say, like, to myself, Bachelor me, like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, enjoy the season that you're in. Like, take your time. Like, find a way for that hot blood to be, put at ease.
What way, bro?
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, but
Like,
when you're on a campus with,
freak, yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. Like, I mean, like, I think I can't, like, I can't assume that everyone knows my story, right? Like, my story is that, like, I was a virgin until my honeymoon night, and so was my wife. And so our dating was tough because, like, we made a decision together to wait for our wedding night to consummate.
to make things right.
Yes, sir. but that was a tough decision, and obviously, like, biologically, as a dude, like, it's tough to stand by that decision for, like, I think we dated for like 2.5 years without, like, having sex, but it was tough.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the decision, but it wasn't the main reason that we wanted to get married. Like, it was still like, we're committed to each other. We know that this is what we want to do. And we're in it for the long run. So yeah, I would just still say that, like, just relax a little bit if you can. Find a way. Yeah. It's a really interesting question. You?
But
What did you say to yourself?
This thing of you're saying, relax.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, it feels like things are going slow.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah, go on.
I agree with that. I mean, it's like, you're excited. I guess for me at the time, like, even like my wife said this to me the other day, we celebrated 10 years together, like a few months ago. And like, she was like, when you asked me out, you were like, you told me that, you'd want to marry me. You're not trying to play games. Like, if you're dating me, you'd want to marry me. And that's the end goal. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I mean, like, legit, that is how I view it. Like, I wouldn't go into dating to, like, experiment or explore. That was just me at the time. And so I knew that if I'm dating her, I would want to marry her. As for when, like, we'll see it as things play out. If it's the right time, if I have the resources, if I can make it happen, if I can actually, like, hold it down. Like, can we hold it down together financially as well? That's also its own little story as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you're right. Like, when you're in it, it feels slow, but it only feels slow because we've put like subconsciously a goal in front of us, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess, you know, so like there are guys now that are in that space. They found a lady, they're like, you know what, ngifuna ukushada.
Yeah.
You know? So they are in that space now where it's like, look, let's do this thing. Let's move this thing along so that we can, you know, get to the wedding day. So what would you say?
I'd say prepare. Check yourself. Like check yourself in terms of, like, you know, there's this, I don't like being corny or stereotypical, but like there's this thing, that SWOT analysis thing, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. But like your weaknesses or your cracks or your brokenness catches up to you in your marriage. It's important for you to just do as much digging as you can before, whether it's like you have anger issues, resentment issues, you have pornography addictions, whatever it might be, like dig deep, find it, try deal with it as much as you can. Like, so you'll never be perfect by the time you get married. Like, that shouldn't go without saying, but like you can do enough proactively to at least get yourself to a place where you're at least conscious of where you are.
Yeah.
So I think that I tried to do that as much as I could. I felt like I could have done a bit more, because there's certain things that do creep up on you when you're married, that you feel like, damn, that caught me blindsided.
Yeah.
And it has its own repercussions when you're in there, because it's different. There's another person now, right? It's not just you as a bachelor dealing with your life in your own room at your own time. Like, you have a spouse that indirectly or directly is affected by your stuff. Yeah, so I think that's what I would say to a guy that's about to get hitched. Sounds very somber, but yeah. Yeah, and you?
Joe, bro, you know, it's, I'm trying to think of the things that I would say, you know?
Yeah.
So firstly is that, yeah, guys, it's not a game. Like I'll sit with my sons as well, you know, and any friend that I actually have now. So listen, guys, Lendo, it's not a game. It's not a game. I know movies have, you know, they make everything look rosy and, you know, all that. But like, listen, you need to like go into this thing like sober, of just like aware of, you know, somewhat aware of the cost, right?
But so, you know what, Lang?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. That's what you said to me. Ne?
Yes.
And I was saying this to Mpo the other day. I was like, you know what? The next level to saying think about it and like consider the cost is you sharing your stories as vivid and as raw as you can. Because when I know that, like, yo dog, like sometimes my wife really is just selfish. She'll wake up one day and she's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, and so like those nuances of like stories,
okay,
like remind me of like there's a lot that can happen.
Yeah.
Like anything can, like, it can happen. Like, so I think the stories are what paint the picture a bit more vividly.
Yeah. So yeah. I hear you. I think that's a good one. And I think just sharing stories,
yeah,
you know. I think in my experience, and this is we're in our 13th year of marriage, is that there's nothing that has been more challenging in my life than marriage. Honestly, bro, there's nothing that has shown me flames in my life. Like, bro, I've seen things, I have done things, I have, you know what I mean? I've been in tight situations, but bro, umshado. Yeah. Jeepers, bro.
Yeah.
If anything like has brought me to a place where I'm just like, I go angsaz.
Yeah.
Angsaz, you know, is marriage. And I'll tell you this, and this is again my experience, is that marriage has been the one thing that has nothing has been able to break me down like marriage
and build you
and
up.
build me up
Yeah.
like umshad.
Sure.
And the weird thing, like for me, my experience is that it's been like high highs and low lows, and almost like very little of the in between.
I get you.
You know, and in fact, when the in between happens, where it's not high, where
You're not
it's
as
just like
conscious of it.
yeah, you know, you kind of like cruise control.
Yes.
Also, there, it's you're not at peace there because you're concerned with why am I just
Coasting. Yeah.
Yes. You know, whereas there's supposed to be, you know, I'm supposed to be experiencing this life, this
Yes.
joy, you know, and excitement.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it's been a lot of that high highs and low lows. And so it's been challenging in that you are faced with your, I mean, you alluded to, with your own kind of like selfishness.
Yeah.
But also dealing with someone, you know, someone else's
Yeah.
selfishness and poor decisions and, you know, that kind of thing. And so that for me has been such a major issue. And the thing is like, you know, when you're dating, you can deal with each other's issues, but then one goes home, other one goes home, you know, that kind of thing. And then you can process, you can hang out. But here, bruh, you have to now sleep in the bed with this person that you are angry with, and you have to figure out how they're processing this and how you're processing this thing, and then it's issue of maybe you're in the wrong and you know you need to apologize, and maybe now our safuni, you don't want to apologize because you're like, but they don't deserve an apology or whatever it is. And then, you know what I mean, you're dealing with like so many of these like internal wrestles and conversations and things like that, and but the person's right here, you know what I mean, right here next to you.
You're preaching to the choir,
bruh. It's like you're angry at this person, you get in the bed together with this person, now you're thinking, must I put my arm around you? You don't deserve my arm. You know what?
What's going on, Len?
But do you get what I'm saying?
I feel you.
And it's like, no, and you know, like the correct response is like, no, man, as a husband, I must love my wife regardless of what's happening. And so, you know, I must, silly example, but you know, let me put my arm around her. And, but inside you're like, hey, I'm phone. Or even if you do put that arm around, it's that arm that's just
waiting.
You know,
there's
it's just wait. I've got time.
There's
no.
But I feel you. I get you.
Do you get what I'm saying? And so, and those are the moments, I guess, that kind of make and break marriage. And just how we, I guess, respond to it. You know, so there's that, and then there'll be amazing things that happen. You know, maybe together as just one day you just wake up and you just look at this person. You're like, wow, man, thank you, God, that I have such an amazing wife.
Sure.
And these moments of appreciation, these moments where you do and you accomplish great things together as a couple, and then you have children in the mix. I mean, nothing can compare. You know. Nothing compares to, like, you know, having a child together.
I think that one, we must save that one for another episode where we talk about what would you be saying to the parentless you.
Yes.
Still married.
Yes.
But is about to have kids.
Yes.
What do you say to that guy? What do you say to that Langa? And unless you have something else to say or share. Do you have anything else you want to say to Bachelor you?
Bro, I would just say... like, get used to not having things your way. Which is a hard one. It's like a difficult thing to kind of teach someone. But I think you can almost... There may be ways you can prepare... because if you're going to be selfish... If you're thinking just about you and yours and your things, it's going to be a problem, you know? So I don't know if there's a way we can, you know, you can train or teach someone. But anyway, just say, listen, bro, get used to not having things your way. And being able to be fruitful still, being able to still, you know, find joy and life. Ubumnandi in still in giving.
Look,
You
bro,
know that
I
that
want to
kind of
say
thing.
I want to say that, like, one of my deepest fears in life is divorce, right? But at the same time, in confronting that fear, I've done research on like the most common reasons why people divorce. And you know, there's infidelity, there's finance, but like a big one is selfishness, right? It's like, if I have to keep putting myself second to something in any situation, it rattles the cage, because I'm like, as people, like, you sometimes do gravitate towards yourself more than you do to someone else.
Yeah.
To giving more than you do to keeping to yourself. So like, I 1000% agree with that. Like, going in, I think that there's more of me that I've had to give up, and things about myself that I've had to let go of, as well as just like learning to be selfless. Because I guess as a bachelor, it's all you.
Yeah.
It's all you. Like, I don't have a time I must come home. I don't have to talk about my preferred meal.
I don't have to clock in if I'm away.
No, I don't have to account. I don't have to tell you about finances. I don't have to account to anyone. It's just solo man, right? And I guess when I came into marriage, it's like, you know, like, I might want that pair of sneakers, and it's like, but homie, nah.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, yeah, okay. Take that hit, nigga. Like, but yeah, I that's a big one. I agree.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's yeah. No, it's real in that sense, is being a part of a team.
Sure.
You know, recognizing that actually it's two people coming together. You're now part of a team, and as a team, you decide. It's not just Langa, however Langa was living before,
Yeah.
and now we just translate that
I feel
into,
you.
it's that. It's figuring out what works for you guys as a team.
Yeah.
Another thing I would say to guys is, guys, like, travel. Like, travel as much as possible.
Yeah, man.
And make those kind of decisions where you're just, so that when you in marriage, you don't feel like you've missed
get
out
you.
on something, or you were
you.
restricted in some way.
Yes.
Another thing which I really recommend is, if you live with other people before you get married, and not saying fat and set, as in live with your,
like communal.
Yes, live in a commune, or share a flat with someone, because that will test you. That will
That's
test
actually
you
quite true.
when it comes to like washing dishes and
yeah.
buying groceries, and like a
Yes.
living kind of
Yes.
having like a shared lifestyle, and someone in
Yeah.
your space.
Oh, that's a gem. Yeah, I mean, like, I say it's a gem because majority, if not all of my varsity years was in communes, living with people. Like, and throughout the time, I guess the transition into, living with someone 24/7, whatever.
It's huge, bro.
It's huge, but I guess like you have a reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we can leave it here. I think that this is a lot.
Okay.
I want to say that if you enjoyed this conversation, if you think this is a topic that you'd want to share with your friends and family, please tag them, comment, whatever. Just get the word out there, and please do follow us. It is the 4Fathers FC on all platforms, and that is us.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.